This stuff in Yerushalmi Yoma. The article is additional marriage at top of your base of an Aleph, Tarm Small, and in the Vilna that's on Tes Amrav, the 12th line down, beginning of the line Tarm Small. The Chumas Hadeshin in your left hand. Tifluk Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi. It's Malchus Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi. Rabbi Yochanan said komets of a mincha. She did kadosh b'kli and we're makadosh in the keli viktiro, and then he put it on mizbech. So evidently the komets is the primary avodah, and that has to be done properly, and that presumably is done with the right hand. But once you did it with the right hand, shekidush b'kli viktiro ben b'yah ben b'kli, then he put it up afterwards. With your hand or with a vessel, ben b'min ben b'small, whether it's the right hand, left hand, it's kosher. Yehuda Rebbe Omer, whatever avodah we learn out, we can learn out two types of avodas in the Beis Hamikdash. B'yad or b'kli. So the ones which are b'yad, we learn out for chatas, or b'chatas b'yad, or b'osham, or by osham keli. The blood of chatas has to be applied by the finger. The blood of osham could be applied even with a keli. But by all of them say, as the Korban points out, they say Kohen. What's the language here? No, sorry, it says etzba. It says etzba by chatos, and shem l'kachim v'dama v'tzom you b'min dafka v'kom shem ba'etzba v'min, and by osham it says Kom Shem Kahuna ain't really mean. So we learn either from the word the fact it says etzba, or from the fact that it's kohen. But whether you use a yad or a keli, it's got to be the right one. Okay. Uvad b'mi. That's what it says. So obachatas v'yad or v'ashim chli uvad b'mi. He supposed to ask a question like this. V'atayim we learn kiba b'mino v'nasa b'smolo yasil mino. Okay. So this is if you makabel the blood with your right hand and put it in your left hand, put it back in your right hand. Okay, so this is difficult on Rabbi Yochanan because it sounds like you can't use the left hand, right? And it's more difficult on Rabbi Yehuda Rebbe because that's the Gilin Ephraim who says it's difficult on both of them. So Chaim says it's only difficult on Rabbi Yochanan, but only like the Gilin Ephraim. So So the Ephraim does change gears a little slightly. It was a scene moment. Again, we see how tight so small imbis. So now the Gemara says imbis small machzir, and here it says mizbech. So the Ephraim changes it to yamin. If the left hand, you have to give it back to the yamin. So lo koshke the bezech. So certainly you should have to put it back in the bezech in the case of the in the case of the komets. So Megillah Ephraim says that if you can go from left to right, so you still should be able to go back from the left to a bezech. So why does Rabbi say it's an uva chain yochel liskon? Why does it say you can't fix it anymore? It sounds like once you did it wrong, you did it wrong. You should be able to fix it. Why not? So Rabbi Law said, if a person learned this brisa, if somebody learned this brisa, it's interesting language. Lezer Rabbi Shimon Shania, Rabbi Lezer Rabbi Shimon. So Lezer Shimon holds that it doesn't possible to when you put in your left hand. The Gilin Ephraim points out what's the psul putting in your left hand. He says it's like dam shenishbach, right? So the question whether it's like blood which spilled, and the question whether you can put it back. Right? So it depends where it's nishbach. I'm not going to get into it right now, but in any event, so it's he says I should read inside. It says it's like Lezer Shimon. The tiny Rebbe I'll read it inside a second. The tiny Rebbe Lezer Shimon answer kiddush bezek. So let's read it in the Friday. Tiny Lezer Shimon mincha answer kiddush bezek. It doesn't require kiddush bezach. You can't put it back to the right hand. Because it's like blood which is spilled from the neck of the animal on the ground. No good. It doesn't require method keli. So it was niskab of a kli, because they don't need a kli. So if it was niskab for nishba kli, it's a vasafa shekosher. That's kosher. So the Rabbi will say that, okay, this brisa which says that you can fix it, that's going according to Rabbi Lezer and Shimon. I don't hold that way, therefore you can't fix it. So Rabbi Yochanan that seems to hold it's not like dam shenishbach at all, and therefore it's kosher. Who the Rabbi holds it is like dam shenishbach, therefore it's kosher. What's this case where you can, where it's who holds that it's not you can fix it? That's Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Shimon holds that you don't need kiddush keli, so therefore it's as if it's nishbach minat keli, like the Rekomeh said, and that's you could fix, as opposed to nishbach minat savar, which you couldn't fix. Okay, so the now we're going to see the slide again. Rabbi Lezer Shimon answer kiddush bezach, and asked Rabbi Lezer Shimon Shittas Rabbi Shimon Aviv. Lezer Shimon follows the shittas of his father Rabbi Shimon. They didn't know. We learned over there shalobi kli sharis possible. If you don't put a mincha on a kli sharis, it's possible. It needs to be to have a kli sharis. And therefore, need to have a kli sharis also means it has to be done with the right, and there's no way to fix it. They didn't do wrong, just like it's like not putting a kli sharis. That's it. It's move us later yochel yiskon, right? Rabbi Shimon machshir. Rabbi Shimon says kosher, and therefore it's just like you don't need a kli sharis. If it goes to the left hand, it's also okay, according to this Rabbi Lezer Shimon. You should still put it back in the right hand. But it says it's not possible. It's not as if it was spilled. The moment went to the left hand. Okay, Ma'ikadun. So what's the conclusion here? Rabbanan the Islam kli sharis. If Rabbanan hold you need to have a kli sharis, tzrichel on yamin. They need to be in the right hand. If Shin lays kli sharis, if Shin doesn't hold you don't need kli sharis, lo tzrichel yamin. It's not the only right. Okay, so all this is talking about the it's like the Torah, right? Because you mentioned Rabbi Yochanan said the Torah. Okay, and then we said by chatos bayad of Oshim Mikli. That's also talking about the zrikas adam, putting the dam in his bech. So the Gemara asks, I'm astonished. How can you show a comparison between Chumas Hadesh and Haktorah? It's not comparable. Lo dam el kmitza. It's like kmitza. It's like when taking the kmitza from the mincha. It's also the kmitza of the deshen, right? Said so. Mishnei Kseisim in the comments. Shazuba Rama Zuba Rama. They're both lifting up, right? As says by both of them, lashon of the pasuk is ve'er. The Torah Shon brings them down. These sukkahs are not explicit in the Gemara, but the lashon is by both of them. No, it doesn't be done. By Rama, right? Veirim, it says Veirim. Ein Veirim, the Arab Shishir, the Heirim means to lift up and leave. And like the coordinator says, Shetzach l'shayr min adeshen, agav izmeh, shlito kula. Like Chumas Deshen means to take part of it, just like a mincha, right? Asher tochal, and it says in that passage, there Asher tochal eishes hamizbech, ve'echila kazayis, right? The achila is kazayis. So that, before we said two kazayis, but here it says kazayis. In fact, Reb Chaim before also says a kazayis, not two kazayis. Here it says, so I don't know exactly how you reconcile the two, but here, because here it sounds like it's kazayis, and before it said it's two kazayis. This seems to argue what it said before. But anyway, the truth is that we're not going to answer the question. We just went on to something else. We didn't answer the question, but how we made the parallel between Haktorah and Chumas Deshen, which we made that comparison between Haram and Chumas Deshen. We left that. So this is really a new thing. Okay. Asher tochal ein achila kazayis really new. So good. Now what if it? All the ashes were there. It's only a zayis of ashes, and you have to do Chumas Hadesha. What do you do? So presumably, you have the same question according to Man Damar we had before. That you need two kazaysim. What do you do? All those two kazaysim, right? V'tomik tzas ein had yochel shein bo kazayis and I can do shir. V'tos kula ein had yochel shein kan shir to take over. You can't. Sorry. V'tomik tzas ein had yochel shein bo kazayis. Can't. V'tomik tzas Lito mitzvah and yochel. You can't take part of it. Shein lo kazayis. Lito is cool. You can't take over. Shein can't share. There's not going to be anything left. The Gemara doesn't answer the question, but leaves it. Okay, the Gemara says, "Verim asher tochal eish." So it says, pick up that which the fire has consumed. Yochel eitzim. There can be even part of the wood. Wood could be part of the Trumas Hadeshin. Talmud Lomar Olah. No, it says Olah. So Olah means something which is already consumed. If it's Olah Yochel a Variola, if it's could you take even perhaps limbs of the Olah? So they also call Olah. Okay, Olah might be consumed, but it also means Olah, right? So maybe you can take limbs of the Olah, whatever limbs are part of the Trumas Hadeshin. So no, Tamlo Shetochal Eish. It's that which is consumed by the fire. So okay, how do you do it? Chotem and uchos apnimios you take from the very fine, very much consumed coals from the middle of the fire, biorid, and you go down with it. Okay, now we have a new thing. Mitzvah lahaktim eish le'etzim. Says in Pnei Moshe, mitzvah lahaktim eish le'etzim eish le'heder shemavim kamar. We're talking about the fire which you bring to light the mizbeach. Chirashim b'ksuvas nasum ne'aron b'akosim. Sorry, learn from Pasuk. Nasum ne'aron akonim eish mizbeach. Shabbat sheishon m'shamayim. Even though in the midbar fire came down from heaven, mitzvah be eish me'avion. They said to bring fire from our sources, from down below. It's a mitzvah to bring the fire before you put the wood on top of the maracha. The Shemet says, "V'orchu eitzim al ha'esh." You put wood on the fire. Kodem. Now here it says kodem eitzim la'esh. I think it's supposed to say kodem eish la'eitzim. I didn't see anybody who changes it. So let's see what they do with it. So the article changes it. Kadem kadem instead of kidem eitzim la'esh as kadem eitzim la'esh. Bring the wood to the fire. Okay. I don't know who he brings it down from, based on the Chazon Ish. And according to but it seems more likely to change the Girsa. The other Meforshim learned that it is it's a question. Kidem eitzim la'esh, what's the halacha? Okay. Which I guess the answer was inferred there from the next line, which is a parallel case. I think it's more likely the Gersa, like I suggested. And then the Gemara says, Siddur Shlotom, what he did the Siddur of the new Maracha before he did Trumas Hadeshin, separate thing. Mashlu, so if you can stick your hands in deep and do the true Truma, then, or their hands, a shovel, do the Truma, fine, do it. If not, Mefarek Torah. That's I think you have to read it. Mashal time or Mefarek Torah, whatever works, but you have to fix it. Okay, so the Gemara now asks a new question. Rabbi Yaakov bar Acha Amar Chilfi Shor. Rabbi Yaakov bar Acha said that Chilfi, who's ill from the Bavli, asked a question. Kometz Shenoso Gabe Mareches Laila Mahin. So Kometz explains Kometz shall. Actually, I want to read the. No, I read it right. Sorry. Kometz shall Yom Shenoso Gabe Mareches Laila. The comments of the daytime put on top of Mareches Laila. And the should see the Marach shall Yom. You put it before you did the Marach of the day. Inami Kometz shall Emesh. Or I was talking about the Kometz of yesterday. She'enam Nifsa, which are not Nifsa Belina. Okay, so the idiots from today's, which you put before you did refresh the fire, or yesterday's you saw the fire, you want to put it back. So, what's the status? Similar question. So now we're talking about the Imurin, same idea, but in this case the Imurin for sure from Maybe not. Yemura also, I think Yemura definitely from last night. So because you didn't slaughter anything yesterday. So I think so. Yemura says Mahi. So it says Gemara, the Lomas DC is in the Mishnah. And look according to Talmud Shel Shachar, look there is Bavad. The only comes before the Talmud Shel Shachar is Keteris. Nothing else can come before it, so you have to take it off, right? Isn't it obvious? So no, not necessarily. Mastisi l'mitzvah could be that's a l'chatchila, that's a mitzvah. Matzricha le'ikuv. Our question is makim. It's b'diavad. Can you leave it there, or you have to take it off and put it on the new maracha, which you put on now, and after the korban tamid. And the word doesn't answer it. Okay, the Gemara goes on now to ask Tuma Maushi Tzitz Maushi Yuratzel Tumas Yadayim. Tzitz is the Tzitz, of course, is Matam Ratzel and Tuma. What about Tumas Yadayim? So interesting. Korban Miyam Miyam Chamiri Divrei Torah. So even though it's Sunnah Rabbanan, but it's more severe in Divrei Torah. So Tumas to Yadayim in Torah. So maybe. Tzitz matzah and tumas midaraisa. Inami tumas time hashel kiddush other braga b'kior. Perhaps it's saying about different type of tumah, which is the tumah which happens when you do not mekash down raglan. Which it's interesting. Those have to go into if you're a brisker the whole long this kachim here. What kind of shame tumah is that? Obviously, you weren't necessarily tumah. Kiddush down raglan is a special halacha you have to do before you do that later. So what's the definition? But the Hashas is a different shot. He says that in Ayin Mishnah Melech paradigm B'Yis Mikdash Shel Chavav Tamaz. He establishes Kamar Kamar Ein Tumas Yadayim by Mikdash. There is no Tumas Yadayim by Mikdash. After the came the Kamar I'm not sure this is Rabbi Yochanan. You made Basar and Dam. Shabasa Bachol Chel Nitmu Ein Zarkin Dam. The Chel Basar Kam Tamin Ansar Dam came the Basar Mishi Yotzif Nezrikas Dami. If the basar anymore went out of the base and make the choice because dam, but nizar kadam, and the nizar kadam is have a kasha kamor pegam mikdashim. Can shabme boy like if the Yerushalmi chagav vasimur kachik kam shiotzel chutz lazora. The need mu tuas yadayim. Okay, so yotzei. And then there is too much yadayim outside the azara. So is there? Do we say shagazel too much yadayim on this basar which is yotzei min azara? And therefore, you need tzitz maratza on that or not. So this, that's going to ask tzitz maratza tumas yadayim. Okay. Now that would make this idea that even though it's no tumas yadayim in the base of mikdash, but left base and there is tumas yadayim outside base of mikdash fits in with the next line, which is yadayim ma'ashu sum shum yotzei. So Gemara says, I understand. What's happening to be called puzzle? Lamas DC is now brayso kiddush of ragla v'nitmu. They came tome. Might be in the way to you have to tovel them in their Torah. Yotza lo yisum shim yotze, but it's only if they come tome. Not if the yotze. There's no if the yotze. There's no propsul. Says no. That is according to my number of ask command my inner leader posels b'nai. That the overnight doesn't passel. It's just like overnight doesn't passel, Yotze doesn't passel. That's true. But Matzrichle Baram, it's like Baram Matzrichle, it's like Sarser B'Dashu. But my question is, Baram Matzrichle Hacha, it's the way the line should read. But that's Matzrichle Hacha Baram, Matzrichle Baram Hacha, means the same thing. Commander Alina Posels B'Yadayim. Okay, according to the opinion of that Yelena is placed on B'Yadayim. So what about Yosef? Okay, good question. More goes on. Next question. If you can catch that line before Amud Shachar, so is a puzzle before because of Chosesman because it's not yet daytime time by later. So it says Gemara. Isn't this also a brisa? V'lamas nisu is not a brisa. Kiddush yoda b'raglav hayoyim lavoda shamacha. He was when it talks. It says okay, so you can catch the line today for the avoda of tomorrow. Okay, so it seems that it doesn't require doesn't require new Kedusha Daim Bergline. Now it's going to become clear. This is only according to the opinion holds that Lina is not placed by Kedusha Daim Bergline. If Lina is placed by Kedusha Daim Bergline, it would be an issue. So Gemara goes on to a different slight issue, a different issue. The Trumas Hadeshin, which can be done at night, is the Tchilas Havayah the next day. It's not the end of the day before. So it can be done with Sova Shmor Rishayna. It's not the end of the day before. It's a new day with Tzoy Kai Shel V'Glov Min HaKior HaMeshukah B'Mayim. And you have to do Kiddush Daim, which means the Kior, if it's already down in the underground, it's immersed into the water under the base of Mikdash, in order that it should be called Pasalina, you have to raise it in order to do Kiddush Daim, in order to do the Trumas Hadeshin. Now we go back to something we learned a few days ago. Rabbi Chia Bar Yosef, when I came at Shemasa Yom L'Layla Daya. Once it's raised for Trumas Hadeshin, since you went from day to one, since you went you put it down at the end of day. When you went from Yom to Laila, that's enough. And then you don't have to raise and lower it again in the morning, right? As the Pnei Moshe says. Came with Shemasa Yom L'Layla Dayo. Mishaka b'sof hayom, you put it down at the end of the day, Lios Mishuk b'tchilas Laila, v'shuv ain't tzorech l'far, and then you don't have to do it again. Kind of Shvutai we actually had earlier in the Masechta. It was in Shkolim. I think it was back early in Yoma. So, Chevrai B'Shem Yom said, no. There also has to be Mishuka at the end of the night, before Amud HaShachar. Mishahu Magvil Hu Mashkil. Once you pick it up for Trumas Hadeshin, then you still have to put it back down again. Okay, so we're going to discuss this machlekes in greater detail, but this is already on Yud Gimel Amrav, so therefore we'll stop here today and pick it up next time.